This is How to Make Dinner, and I'm Paula, and today I'm walking you through a very delicious dinner party that we had a few nights ago, and it was really, really fun. So here's what I made. As some of you may know, we spent some time in Bulgaria this summer, and we ate so much and we had such a nice time, and ever since we've been back, we've been talking about doing a Bulgarian dinner party, and finally it happened. So we had a few friends over on the weekend. I made a bunch of Bulgarian inspired food, and we ate and we drank and we sat around, and it was just so nice. So I thought I would walk you through what I made. First thing in the morning, I got up and started my zucchini dish. So this is a kind of a spin on something that I had there. Normally it's sliced zucchini that's dredged in flour and then fried in quite a bit of oil. And then it's either served with a yogurt garlic dip, or sometimes the yogurt garlic sauce is just kind of poured all over it. I prefer the pour it all over method personally, but I'm doing a little bit of a twist on this dish. So I sliced up the zucchini, and instead of flouring and frying it, I'm actually just gonna roast it. So I've got the sliced zucchini, a little bit of oil, some dried oregano, and some salt and pepper going into a bowl. And that was about four or five zucchini, I believe. And quite a bit of garlic. It's about 2 cloves in there. And then I just tossed it up really, really well. So I did a bit of a spin on this recipe because I find the dredging and frying process to be a little bit much for like a normal weeknight. And so roasting is just so much easier, and it's a bit lighter as well. So as soon as they're all tossed, they just get spread out evenly onto a baking sheet, and the oven has already been preheating at 450 or so, just as high as it goes basically. While those are in the oven, I got started with my pork. So this is for a pork stew that I'm making in a traditional clay pot. So I went to my butcher and got a pork roast that was like pretty well marbled. It wasn't like a loin. So I cut that up into a bit bigger than 1-inch cubes. I really wanted these to be like tooth sinkable, not just little puny chunks of pork. I kind of wanted it to be more like stewed pork rather than pork stew, if that makes any sense. This was about 1.4 kilos, so this is a big roast. So the pork goes into a big bowl with the garlic, and that was about 6 cloves of garlic, big glug of vegetable oil, a little bit of pepper and some salt, and then a chubritsa, which is summer savory. And I just tossed that really well. If you can't find summer savory, you could use oregano. And then I just popped that in the fridge, and that's just gonna sit and marinate and get flavorful. Once the zucchini were ready, it took about 25 minutes. I also had some rice cooking while the zucchini was cooking. And this is instead of dredging the zucchini with flour, I still wanted a little bit of a starchy component so that it would soak up any extra juice that comes out of the zucchini. So I like to do rice, basically. So it's like creating a bit of a bed for some of those juices. So I just let the rice cool and let the zucchini cool for about 20 minutes or until they are completely cooled down. And then I just layer the zucchini on top of the rice, kind of in a, pretty pattern. And then once the zucchini's on top, it is time to make the sauce. So the sauce is just 2 cups of yogurt. I'm using my homemade. 1 clove of garlic, grated in, big pinch of salt, giant pinch of dill. And I actually use dried dill here because the sauce is gonna sit for a while in the fridge, and the dried dill will reconstitute and it'll be really nice. And then I just basically split that between the 2 dishes. I used 2 dishes because I didn't have a bigger dish, and also it's kind of nice to have multiple items of the same thing kind of sprinkled across the table, especially when you have a bigger group, because then it's just less reaching. So these are going to be served cold, and so they can just sit in the fridge until we're ready to eat them. At about 2 o'clock, I put the pork together. So this is a guvetche, which is the traditional clay pot, and kind of seems like anything you put in here tastes good. So first I browned the pork. I wasn't too bothered about getting it browned on all sides. I just wanted to create a little bit of browning, so kind of like 1 or 2 sides. And then I started layering things into this clay pot. So I did a layer of onions on the bottom, just raw, and then a layer of the pork. And you can also get little mini ones of these in Bulgaria, which is so cute. We've had this clay pot for years and I haven't used it before, so this is kind of exciting. On top of the pork, I added some yellow and red peppers and then some more onion, and then I did a little layer of salt as well as more of that chubritsa that we put on the pork, and about a glass full of red wine. And the red wine is the only liquid going into this thing. And then another layer of pork. And at this point I was starting to worry that it was gonna be way too full because I had a ton more veggies I wanted to cram in there. So I put a layer of carrots. It's kind of nice to do the layering thing too, I don't know why. And then I started putting more peppers on and then decided we need more flavor again. So I added some more red wine and some more salt and chubritsa and pepper, and then added the peppers on top as kind of like a lid. And this thing was so crammed full, but I think it's actually better that way. Everything just cooks, you know? On goes the lid, and then it went into a 375-degree oven for the first half hour or so, just to get everything really hot, and then I turned it down to 350. The last thing here is my favorite cold soup, Tarator. So first I'm chopping some fresh dill and a clove of garlic, and this is quite a bit of fresh dill and only 1 clove of garlic because, you know, when you have people over, you don't really want to freak them out with garlic, or maybe you do, I don't know. Tarator is my very favorite thing. I don't think I'm ever going to get sick of it. It's the best. I made it already in an episode from last summer. I made a little bit of a different version, so this is pretty similar. So into a big bowl, I just have about 2 very finely diced cucumbers, all of that dill, so much dill. I friggin' love dill. It's so good. It's the most underrated herb, I think. And then some homemade yogurt. Again, the stuff comes in so handy. I love having homemade yogurt on hand. And then a fair bit of salt, and then just water. This is the simplest soup ever, and it's just so refreshing and delicious. So at this point, it's just a matter of adjusting, adding more salt or more water, depending on the texture you're after, or the consistency. And then I just serve it with chopped walnuts to sprinkle on top, and everybody loved this one. And then the guvetche was done, and so I thought I'd take a look at it, and oh, the smell coming off of this thing, so good. And it cooked down really nicely. Another thing that we shared at the dinner party was our 1 bottle of Rakia that we brought back. This is the one that I loved the most when we would order it at restaurants. It's Borgas 63, and you can't get Rakia where I live in our province in BC. I think you can get it in Ontario. So if you're in Ontario, I would highly recommend you look for it because it's so good. This is the kind of thing people just make, you know, in their sheds over there. But to me, it's a real delicacy. So I thought, what better time to share it? So we cracked this bottle. Thankfully, we didn't drink it all because I kind of want to make it last. It's kind of sweet. Oh, I love this stuff. Something about October just makes me want to drink hard liquor, you know? I do tend to love a little whiskey as well, but for Bulgarian night, it's all about the Rakia. That's it for my Bulgarian dinner party. I hope you liked this episode, and I hope you saw something that you might want to try. None of the things I made were really strictly following a recipe, but I'll put all the kind of rough guidelines in the description box below in case you want to make anything similar. I also want to say thanks so much for being here, and if you like this video, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs down, because apparently YouTube doesn't discriminate. Engagement is engagement. I really appreciate you coming over here and watching my videos and leaving comments and chatting with me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.